So we're here in PGL Bucharest, quarterfinal day. You guys have now strung your fourth victory in a row. You got revenge against GamerLegion as well, who give you a pretty bad beating in the first days. So tell me a little bit about just being able to get revenge after such a poor showing against them in the first match.
I mean, obviously, it's always a good feeling to get the revenge. I think the first 2 days here in Bucharest, we didn't really arrive as a team, but also individuals. So, to be honest, we obviously it was a hard first 2 days for us. But I think when you have the back against the wall, it's all about focusing on and being in the zone. And I think we managed to do that for 4 days in a row now. I still see room for improvements, but I think we're getting better for each game, and I think that's something that we take with us also for tomorrow because the deeper you go into the tournaments, the better the teams you play. So every single day we need to do a little bit better, and I think for tomorrow as well, if we want to have a chance of winning the semifinals, we need to not have these maps where we're getting blown out of the server in some way, and I think that's going to be really important for us tomorrow.
And tell me, especially in this match, about the Inferno, because you had a really good CT side. You got 9 rounds. That's 7 more rounds than you got in the first match against GamerLegion. So tell me a little bit, what did you guys do differently? How did you prepare? How were you able to come back here? Because after that train, it looked like in 45 minutes, are you guys going to be out? But you brought it back. Great CT side on that Inferno, closed it out, then went on to win Ancient, and now we're here.
I mean, I think the first game they had some good gimmick plays. Looking at us and finding some good gimmick plays that could win them, rounds. And I think today we were just ready for it. I mean, we didn't feel like the pressure was on our shoulders. We knew, they had to close out Inferno to actually go to the semifinals, which is a big thing, for their team since they haven't been in, big tournaments in like this before. So yeah, we just kept our cool and we had a better idea of how they wanted to play. And I think in general we locked down all their gimmick plays and they didn't have the same room on the map that they had in the first game. So yeah, I think today was a little bit easier for us because we had a better understanding of how they wanted to play, and it kind of enabled us to get into good positions and good setups and kind of shut them down when they were coming.
Yeah, and one of the things I wanted to ask you about was, last year when Falcons wasn't playing very well, you were still thriving personally, like especially like from a numbers and output perspective. This year's been a little bit more of a struggle, even when the team is playing a little bit better. So where are you at right now? What is it? What are kind of the changes you've had, and are you kind of working on maybe finding that best version of Magisk?
I mean, obviously, it's still work in progress. I'm obviously not 100% where I want to be, but I do also think that coming into a new team again for the so many times in the previous year, it's difficult to adapt and have focus on yourself. I think once again going into this project, the focus has not been on me; it has been on Nico and it has been on Tessus and also Dexter to give them room and space in the team. And once again, I'm the kind of I have to leave the space and then once we have built the structure, once we have built the team, then I get the space to do moves and to do these type of things. And I think it can be difficult. Also coming from last year, you have to fight with your mental power. Also because you have a lot of things you want to do, but there's not really time for it. And I think that's something I'm willing to give up for the team, for the greater good of the team. And it's always been one of my strengths to give space in a team and willing to do a lot of things that other people are not willing to do. So I think it's always a balance because obviously a guy like Nico, he needs space. This is very obvious. He is a way better player than I am. There's no doubts about that. And for me, it's just I want people to be comfortable and I want people to be in good situations. And if that means I have to, be in hard situations and give a lot of freedom to the team, I will gladly do it. I also believe that if the team was performing a little bit better. I think we had one good result this year. Then it would also make it easier in my roles to actually perform on a higher level. I think it kind of comes hand in hand that if we are getting slaughtered, then obviously it's hard to be a lurker because it's going to be hard situations and there's not going to be that much space on the map. But other than that, I'm obviously focusing a lot about how I can improve and what situations I need to play better. It's something I'm very aware of, and I think it's something that I spend a lot of hours on every single day, trying to find these small things where I should have done better in certain situations. And I do believe that it has been an upgoing curve for the last month, obviously except the 2 games we had here in the beginning of the day where no one actually played Counter-Strike on our team. So yeah, I think it's a slow process, but I also know my capabilities, and I know that once we have a stable ground and a stable team, then I can also perform on a high level.
Yeah, and you mentioned that one good result you've had previously this year, which was at PGL Cluj-Napoca. The group stage was here in Bucharest at the PGL studios. It seems maybe these studios are becoming a little bit of a talisman for you guys. Come Sunday, do you think you guys could maybe repeat or even best the result that you had in the Cluj-Napoca run?
I think in Counter-Strike nowadays, anything is possible. I believe it. I definitely believe that we can go far. I believe we can go to the finals. I also believe that on a very good day we can lift a trophy. But it is hard to be consistent for so many days in a row, and that is the difference between the people who ends up being the champions and the team who ends up going out or losing a final potentially. It is about being consistent every single day, and that is the difficult part about CS2, because there is a lot of different things compared to in CSGO, where it was a lot more about playing your own game, a lot more about winning, like not winning duels in the same way as CS2. So I think also with Emma, Emma 12, it's also helps for the underdogs, which in our situation might be a good thing right now. So yeah, I think it's definitely possible. It's not going to be easy. We need to show even better face than we have done the last 4 days to be able to actually win even the semifinal. But I believe we can do it because, yeah.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
No worries.